Hello guys, and welcome back, welcome. Having many technical issues and challenges today, but that's okay. All is good, all is good. I was supposed to be here speaking to a brother of mine from the USA on his way to the total eclipse. He's getting to a site there in the USA, but for some reason the Facebook live feeds wouldn't let us connect. But so I know he is carrying on with his live video, and I'm going to share the link there because he's got a lot of great information. He's a really knowledgeable guy, very connected, and we will get this talk on. This is the second time we have tried it, and we've had some issues, but that's okay. Everything happens for a reason, and there's no worries about that. So I wanted to come back here today to just talk and chat about what I began with, because this is a time of change. This is a time of turmoil. It's a time of things shaking up. It's a time of people being uncertain. It's a time of maybe a lot of fears being arisen, and we have to really take stock and look at what we are in relationship to what we see, because as I said, world events and everything in our reality is a reflection of our mass consciousness, of the totality of humanity. What we see, that is the sum total of the mass consciousness, and what we focus on, obviously we create more of. And at times there can be a very direct focus on fear, a focus on things that don't feel very good, or things that feel very negative, and we have to look at the reasons why these things happen, the reasons why certain events get all the exposure, while other horrible things that are happening in the world every single day get completely ignored. And that's not, there's no pecking order, there's no one thing is more important than the other in total reality. But what happens is that our attention, the media, social media, all of these things get focused on one particular agenda. They get focused on one direction, and you have to ask yourself, why is that? Why would that be? What would be? Who would benefit from that? Where is that leading to? So, while we can't control to much degree what is thrown at us from these elements, we can control our reactions, our responses, and firstly, obviously, our attention to those things. So for me, my first tool with this is to avoid mainstream media as much as possible. And again, it's not to stick my head in the sand. It's not to put myself where I'm not aware of what's going on. It's designed because I want to keep my vibration high, to keep my ability to help and serve others high. And if I'm focusing on the things that are fearful, the things that are scary, the things that are horrible and negative in this world, I will, and it happens with everyone. I will feel, I will drop, I will match that vibration. But what we need to be as light workers and people that are here to help, and everyone is here to help, and everyone's on a different path of the same journey. We're all going in one direction. But what we have to do is shine light in these dark times. We have to work on ourselves constantly, and whatever darkness or violence or fear or anger that is within us is a small part of what we see on that outside world. And we like to separate ourselves from the horrible things that we see in the world, and that's nothing to do with me. I could never, or we condemn and we judge. But we have to realize that at the deepest level, that is a small part of us. There's some part of us in that. So as I've said many times before here, if we are seeing violence and war and hunger in the world, we don't have direct control over those things to a great extent. We do have some influence that we can have, but what we need to do is look at the war and the fear and the starvation in our own relationships, in our direct, what we have, our experience. What do we do on a day-to-day basis? Have we got violent thoughts about ourselves or others? Are we angry on a daily basis with ourselves and others? do we ignore people that are hungry in our towns and cities in a normal situation? Do we separate ourselves by judging others, by those people are over here and I am here, so they are nothing to do with me, and certain people's suffering is acceptable, but other people's suffering is not. So it's a judgment and a separation. We have to look honestly at each one of ourselves. Every one of us needs to look at this, and myself included, and I do this daily. I work on myself and I introspect and look, okay, I'm seeing these things that feel very negative, that can bring pain, can bring emotion to me, and I have to look at what part am I playing, what small part am I playing in that. And that can be hard to accept for some people. It can be difficult to see, oh, I see these horrible things in the world, that's not me. And we can say that, but for me, I feel I have come to the place of feeling that we are one, that all of human consciousness is one thing. It's different perspectives of the same thing, and all of creation is the same, different perspectives of the same thing. So we can't distance ourselves from the darkness and the shadows and those things, that they are not us. When we do come to accept that those things are a part to some degree of us, then we take our power and our control back, and we can individually and collectively work together, work on ourselves, work on as a group, work in societies, work in groups that actually support and help people that need help. Move away from protests or fighting against or things that are resisting, and look towards solutions, look towards getting together and helping people in your community. Look at, again, you always have to start with yourself. What can I do in my home? What can I do in my relationships? What can I do in my world? Then look at your society. Then the world is going to start to change. It's not, well, you'll feel powerless if you look at the world and you think there's these huge events that are out of my control. I feel powerless, there's nothing I can do. But that's part of the control system, that's part of the disempowerment that we have become part of, is feeling that we don't have control. But our consciousness has ultimate control. We create everything that we see and experience. And we have a mass collective, an agreed experience that we have as well. And that every step that you take, you add to that, you change one step at a time. And feeling that empowerment, taking that power back, it only takes a small few of us to do that, because the light, it only takes a small candle to light up a huge space. And that's the metaphor. If you think about it, in the world, it only takes a small amount of light, a small amount of people who are connected, who can see through the veils, people who can use discernment, they can look at the reality of things and see beyond what is being fed to you, see beyond what is the mainstream or the normal story. That's when you move beyond that, then you take your power back, and the more people that do that, the more change there's going to be in the world. So I really feel like it's a time to get silent, join these group meditations. They're popping up everywhere. I see it, like we've been guided to do one next week, and there's ones all over. So join these guided meditations, and know that there's been studies done I think it may have been in Washington in the US. They studied the effects of group meditation, and it lowered violence, it lowered crime, it lowered lots of things. You can see the study where it was done. So you can imagine what happens on a global scale. And it may not feel like you have a power, but if you looked at it in the most basic terms, does it feel better to get quiet and looking for solutions, looking for your truth, or looking outside at all of the issues, doing what everyone else does, look at the issues and complain about it and feel powerless and not know what to do and feel lost? And which choice feels better? And even if you think it doesn't have an effect, you're going to have a personal effect. But I can tell you for sure, I have a knowing that this does have an effect, and there's going to be more and more of this, and you're going to see this change. And that doesn't mean that these issues are going to disappear overnight. There are, when big changes are happening, huge changes, and huge structures that have been built for many thousands of years are crumbling. So these things don't give up easily, but what does happen is the most rigid structures will collapse first. So just watch what's going to happen over the next weeks and months and years. The most rigid structures that you can find, where there's no deviation from it's my way or the highway, those sorts of structures, I'm not going to name them because I don't need to, you know, those are the ones that's going to crumble first, and that includes everything in our life, everything from education, from money to governments, all of these things. These are all going to change hugely over the next couple of years, and it's the people that are able to remain balanced, respond, able to get silent, able to use their intuition, because the best guide, the best guru that you have is you. It's your heart, it's your intuition, and we need meditation, these types of practices, to get in touch with that, to allow that to come through, because every single one of us has the exact same abilities. There's no difference in any one of us. We're just on varying levels of the path of remembering what and who we are, and these awarenesses and abilities will come to more and more as they allow it to happen. And shutting off the noise, the fear, the things that are designed to distract you, that a lot of times these things are distracting from the real issues that's going on, or real problems, or they're distracting you to make you look one way so that they can, it's like a magician, the sleight of hand. A lot of these things are to actually just distract you and take your attention there, so because all your focus goes on something, and then they can do whatever they want on this other side. But ultimately no one has control over you, really. You are way beyond all of this physical, all of this body, all of these ups and downs. And I feel wholly positive. I feel like love, I feel joy, I feel passion. And yes, when I focus on these things for a short time, I feel it, I know what it feels like, but I can take myself in the other direction, because I know that's the only way that I can help. I can't help by joining a negative fear-based reality. I can't help, I can't allow people to see through these things if I am stuck in that. And it's so common, and so it's normal. It's how we've been conditioned, it's how we've been growing up, it's how media and news and TV and advertising and everything is designed, is to put us there. So it's your choice. Do you want to be led, or do you want to start leading your life? You can make that choice in this instant, right now. You can start making your choices. You're making choices anyway, but start making informed choices. Start making conscious choices. That's where you are. That's where your power is, because you create everything that you see, everything around you, and you can create everything that you want. You can create in the direction of your dreams. You can create all that you want in an instant, and it's only our belief and it's only our conditioning that control that. So know that. Feel it, believe it, don't take my word for it, try it. I've talked about all of these practices, all of these ways in which you can allow this to come through you, but you need direct experience. That you can't take it from someone else. You need direct experience, and what have you got to lose? It's like I've said before, you've got nothing to lose. If things are not, if life is perfect and you're happy with everything, then there's nothing you need to do. If there's things that you would like to change, try some of these techniques. Try focusing, turning off the TV and getting rid of the fear-based influences, and that includes on your social media feeds. If people are constantly feeding fear, you get rid of that and get silent and ask yourself. Get quiet, close your eyes, meditate for a few minutes and ask, is this reality? Is this real for me? Is this truth for me? And you'll find it won't take very long before you get real answers, and we can get stuck in our head and stuck in fear, and the whole thing is designed to do this. So use your thoughts, use your words, be aware of your thoughts and words, and then take the actions towards the things that you want, and choose what you want. Don't fight against what you don't want. Don't talk about the things that you don't want. Don't talk about the people or places or things or governments or whatever it is that are controlling me, that have because their control is based purely on our ignorance, on the lack of the awareness of our creative abilities. That's the only control that they have. They don't have any other control. The rest of it is an illusion, and it's only through our ignorance. And the more people wake up to that, the less and less, as I said, that those things, those control systems start to crumble. They will disappear, they will go, they will be gone in an instant. As soon as this tipping point of enough people who wake up to these realities, then change is going to happen. But start with you. Start at home, start in your relationship, start in your job, start in your school, start wherever you are here and now, and that's where your power is. So I am very happy to share that with you today. I want to send all my love to each and every one of you. I love you so much. Everyone here on this earth is part of the same consciousness. We're the same. We are that source. We are the awareness that's watching it all. And the coming and going is always momentary. So know that if you're feeling fear, you're feeling doubt, know that it will pass. This too shall pass. So I want to finish with sharing with you this amazing view around me. I can't see if anyone has actually joined. I could have been talking to myself this whole time, but again, that is completely okay. So yeah, sending all my love to you. Anyone that wants to connect with me and talk about any of these things, I would love to talk with you. Please check out my brother Jesus' video on Facebook as well. He's sharing lots of light and wisdom, and yeah, just sending all my love. Stay light and stay bright. I love you all. See ya. Bye.